How's the market? Wichita, Kansas, May 2024, Nerdy Edition. Let's get into some stats. But before we get into all that, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all those fun things that really help grow the channel, support this small business and local Wichita community. So I'm going to go ahead and just start screen sharing and get into some nerdy stats right away. So this is our South Central Kansas MLS stat report to kind of give you an idea of the whole region. And what you'll notice right away is that home sales in Kansas rose 20% in April compared to the prior year. So that just means the number of units was up 880 units, up from 732 in 2023. And that was existing home sales was up 17.8%. And this represents an increase of 7.6% in prices. So number of units is up 20%. Prices is up 7.6%. So I want you to make a clear distinction of those two to really understand where things are at. So new build sales were up 44.1%, and I'll show you why here in a sec when we get to the data and the stats. Average home price there was $393,000, which is down 9.3% from the same period last year. Total number of units 1,378, which that just means the number of available active listings for sale in our whole region, and it's about 1.7 months supply of homes on the market. So let's get to the graphs. The graphs are my best friend, just like they should be for you. So this gives you an idea of number of closed listings by month. As you can see, it's following the fairly normal historical trend, coming up, continuing to rise. For some reason, back in 2023 of April last year, we had this weird dip, and then it bounced right back up. So even though you might have some weird anomalies month to month, overall, this general trend of spring and summer is when it's the most active. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the best time to sell. The best time to sell is when it makes sense for your life reason, you're ready, you're able, the house is in good shape. And we'll navigate each quarter, each season of the market to help you best, navigate each of these situations. But typically spring and summer are the most active times for the most amount of inventory for the next one you're going to buy, but then also you have more competition. So it kind of depends on, the time of year for when you're trying to navigate it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it comes down to your life reason of why you're buying, why you're selling, that kind of thing. And then we navigate the financial market, the real estate market that comes with all of that for where it makes the most sense. But what I've seen historically is the people who try to time the market and wait the longest usually get hurt the most. So really what it comes down to is having enough time in the market makes the most sense. And if you're waiting for interest rates to come down, prices to come down, I'm sorry to tell you, they're not going to. And then people got to move. Life happens, business happens, like things got to get moving, even though the cost of everything, yes, is higher, but waiting costs even more than making the right decisions, saving up for this, planning for it, being strategic and thoughtful, which is what we're really here about, is being strategic and thoughtful and having a solid plan so that we can be successful at real estate is what we're about. But that gives you an idea of where the closed listings are at. Closed listings by price range. This is always a fun one to look at too. Anything below 100,000 is what's getting negotiated below asking price. Otherwise, as you can see from the data here, 125,000 to about 300,000 is all going above asking price by the stats, by the average. Same thing with days on market. This is where you have to be careful too with how you measure and study average days on market and median days on market. Because if you look at, let's say, the 150 to 175 range, what it says on there, blow that up, is if you look at the average days on market, it's 16. The median days on market is 3. So median is the middle. So the middle of the whole group of data is 3. The average is 16. So you have some outliers that are in there for way longer. They're pulling this average way up. Whereas the median, looking at the middle of the most amount of stats, is 3. So the majority of houses are selling around this median mark, but the average piece is also something you look at. So data and stats can get kind of confusing like that. And ultimately what it comes down to with your house is looking at the specific neighborhood, the specific price point, and getting on more of a custom stats and marketing plan than going off the whole market data with this. But hopefully this data, this nerdy stuff helps you make sense of this mystery of real estate, from the real front lines, factual data, not the headlines, not the popular opinion, not some cheesy salesman trying to push you into stuff. This is market data and where marketing and advertising and a good agent comes in that knows the numbers that comes with it. And I want you to know the numbers too, because we want smart financial decisions when it comes to your real estate purchases and things that go with that. The other thing to note is when you get to the 400,000 point, this is where you can start to negotiate around a little bit more. You know, and above 400,000, Wichita is an interesting market around here because it's a smaller percentage of everything. So you can see the number of sales too. The majority goes on from 200 to 400,000. If you look at these double digit ranges and 200, 250, 250, 300, 300, 400. But then as you get to this 500,000 mark and up, it gets significantly less. So that does go on. It's just kind of a way smaller niche luxury market. I know that's the most popular, sexy thing that people like to look at, but it's not really the norm and the majority of what goes on around here. The majority of Wichita, Kansas, you know, is 400,000 and down on everything. Just gives you an idea of the stats. So stats are cool. Being nerdy is cool. This helps make sense of all this fun stuff. And hopefully you can kind of see, like, we do serious things, but we have fun with it. We're casual. We're straightforward. Obviously, we're not the suit and tie type. You know, there is a market for that. It's just not entirely our market. We're more straightforward, real, everyday, down to earth people, hard work and salt of the earth, straight up service contractors on everything. But closed listing price, average price is 254,000. Give you an idea. So that is climbing. So 2022 is the red. You can see where it was lower there. The green was 2023, and you can see 2024 is shaping up to be even higher. Which none of this is bad, by the way. Some people are thinking high prices are bad, but the truth is that's good because that's where appreciation comes from. It's what it's supposed to do. So the people who bought in 2022 got to take part of all this appreciation. The people who waited now have to pay a higher price and higher interest rates. So the longer you wait, the worse it gets, is my point. So make solid plans to get a house, plan for the down payment, plan for the closing costs, plan for the right house. And this is the part that I really love, is helping you guys find an opportunity like the one we just did in Mulvane for one of my VA clients. They got in for zero money down. We negotiated the closing costs, and they're going to add a bedroom and a bathroom in the basement to turn it into, it was a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Now it's going to be a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. So immediately they're able to see an opportunity for value add there, where my construction and contracting and flipping background comes in. This is awesome to get to see them to do this and to get into a house for zero money down, closing costs paid for, and the opportunity to put in a little bit of work like this, but it's move-in ready. Backyard was cool, and it worked out for them. And it took us about 4 to 5 offers to get one, but now they get to partake in all this appreciation from not just the normal market, but also putting in a bathroom and a bedroom downstairs to make it a 4-3 instead of a 3-2.5. So those type of plays are cool. They're fun. That's what I love to do with people. That's why I got into real estate, was from my construction flipping background. I got my license to help solve those same problems for people going forward. And that's kind of my specialty niche value proposition, if you will, is combining all those things together with construction, knowing the market, like what we're going over here, seeing where the value add opportunities are. And it's always satisfying to come back 2, 3, 4, 5 years later with your clients who are satisfied with you in a purchase, then also see where their equity is gained, potentially sell that one, get to a bigger one, or maybe you're selling to move, or, you know, whatever life reason comes with it. So anyway, there's the closed listings. Give you an idea of the numbers there. What's something else to look at? Average days on market. So this is where the average is at 28. And you kind of see in a reverse bell curve for average days on market, where the most activity goes on spring and summer. And you got to think about the seasons around Wichita, Kansas, and why, and the weather it goes with. So average days on market in fall and winter is usually higher. As spring and summer comes around, it drops as a lot of the seasonal activity comes on around here. So we are pretty weather-based, season-based when it comes to buying and selling. And so a lot of times people ask, like, when's the best time to buy and sell a house? Like, when it makes sense for your life reason, that is when. I'm not necessarily going to tell you this is the best time to time the market and all these things that, you know, you hear so many agents being like, it's a good time to buy, it's a good time to sell. Like, always, like, there's always ways to make money, but I don't think that's really careful, and it's a little reckless to be saying that it's always a good time to buy and sell. It's when it makes sense for your life reason is when it's a good time to buy or sell. There's a different time of year that you have to navigate these different statistics and data about the market where things are at, but ultimately it's whenever it makes the most sense for your personal life situation, and we'll navigate the market, the finances, the prices, the interest rates, all those things that come with it. That gives you an idea where median days of market is 6. And then what else do we need to go over that's noteworthy or to take a look at? So Wichita doesn't necessarily have an inventory problem. We just have kind of like a stagnation, constipated problem where everybody's waiting for the cute right house to come up. But there are listings, there are houses out there to choose from. There are certain ones that it's kind of a spot market where you have to fight over them, compete for them. And then there's others that last a little bit longer, take a little bit longer, and sellers are more open to negotiations. You can kind of play that game. And it's not necessarily 20 days on market, 30 days on market. It's just there isn't a better offer. So we got to look at what we can take. And usually when a seller is putting on the market to sell, they're looking to sell. So you just don't ever quite know till you put the right offer in, negotiate around. And that's where, especially going forward with all the changes in our industry, agents who know how to negotiate, play the game, navigate the strategies of all this, I think are going to really get ahead and the consumer is going to like it. But some of the order processors, order takers, just mailing it in, like type of thing, agents and people that expect that to work, like that's the part that I think is going to kind of go away. And I think everybody's going to be pretty happy about that, but I'll get off of that soapbox tangent quick. But this is interesting to note too, is there are a good amount of listings around here from the 250 to 750 range that do go on the market, but don't sell. And then the sellers just stay there. They didn't lose anything because they still get the house, but as you see, the month supply of inventory into the higher price range gets to be higher. So it can be harder for higher end listings to be sold around here. To be a higher end listing agent is tough to get the house sold just based on the data. And this is in a lot of ways why I love being a higher end buyer's agent more than anything, because it's like, I got the one thing you all need, which is a buyer willing to buy this house. And then you can kind of be in more of a power negotiating spot than these sellers and these listings who think they're in a more valuable spot because their price is higher, but it's harder to sell that house. So just an interesting way to understand the market dynamics and the stats, and not necessarily what you're being told or being bluffed or sold on things. And this is kind of what I love playing the game for, is knowing the numbers and the nerdy stuff. So there's the active listings price range, give you an idea of the market there. You're seeing there's trends of our market, but there's always opportunities. And different agents navigate the market, the trends, the opportunities better than others. And that's the difference between us as service providers. Average days on market for active listings 63, medians 24. So there are some listings that sit for a long time on there. And sometimes the seller's just not willing to come down on price. And it doesn't necessarily mean they have to. It just means they're waiting for the one right buyer to come through that's going to work out for that listing. Month supply, we are starting to see grow, which is good because we need the inventory. So red was 22, green was 23, blue was 24. So we are starting to see some inventory grow, but we're still way under 6 months supply, which is when it starts to get to a balanced market. And then above 6 months supply is a buyer's market. So it shows you how far off we are from any of that crashing. So even though it's rising, it doesn't mean it's getting anywhere close to being in a balanced or a buyer's market, market wide on everything. So don't necessarily get your hopes up that we're going to have an 08 or anything like that, or your fears. Let's see, new listings by month. You're seeing those stats again, how seasonal and cyclical a lot of these things are. Makes a lot of sense when you break down the numbers, the nerdy data. Whether you're looking to buy or sell right now, I just want you to get educated on how the real estate market really works in Wichita from the numbers and the data, not the headlines, not some cheesy salesman trying to push you into something, but from the actual factual data, and an agent and a marketer like myself who really knows what's going on and how to play these numbers. We're really good at advertising too, but ultimately advertising can't necessarily always overcome these market data numbers on everything. So I think that's it for the sake of time. I don't want to keep bothering you with all these nerdy data points and everything that goes on like that. If you want to check out any other videos on Wichita, scroll around my channel, check it out. There's home tours on there. There's local Wichita spots on there. Also got a website for checking out houses, my Facebook, my Instagram, all those fun things that I put a lot of content on because I love my hometown and my city that I'm from, and I love real estate and I love people. Most people, not necessarily all of us. The ones that are jerks, I'm not really entirely a huge fan of, but I don't think you would be either. So anyway, appreciate you watching as always. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, all those fun things that help on this channel. Drop me a comment below, shoot me a message, do all the fun things, and appreciate you watching as always. We'll talk to you later. See ya.